the window. The lighting's much better. Yes. Oh my God! Mother of shit!
Yeah, this movie is complete utter garbage. Whoever thought of making this should go... I can't even really speak of this movie because when I first heard of it, I was excited. We had Will Ferrell and John Riley again together. The last movie I saw them together was pretty much Step Brothers, so I was like, oh hell yeah, another movie with those two. So I thought this movie would be really good because I loved Step Brothers. And then this movie came out. At first, I never saw the movie in theaters, which I kept telling my dad, let's go see it, let's go see it. But he's like, no. And I saw reviews for it, and they say it was utter garbage. At first, I didn't believe them. Because when it comes to reviews, I always do my personal own reviews. I don't really trust this. But after months passed, I finally saw it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I would review this whole thing, but I haven't even finished the movie. That's how bad it was. You can't finish this movie. It's like a 5-year-old wrote the script for these two. And for once, I never been so annoyed with Will Ferrell. And he's one of my favorite actors. You see him in other movies where like Anchorman, he's most famous for that. And of course, like I said, Step Brothers. But in this, he's the most annoying person you can ever hear. But let me just say this. The Step Brothers are reunited at the time playing the world's greatest consulting detective and his loyal biographer as Will Ferrell and John Riley star as Holmes and Watson. This movie came out on December 25th, 2018. The director is Etan Cohen. The runtime is 1 hour and 30 minutes, which I only watched 20 minutes of. It is PG-13 and is a crime and mystery. I'm laughing how they don't even put comedy. If you search it up, they don't even put comedy. They just put crime and mystery. Nothing else. What the hell was that? Sorry about that. But I can't really review this. It was just horrible. It was tremendous. Because, trust me, when I first saw the trailer, like I already said, I was excited. I had high hopes. But then, later on, when I heard it was horrible, I was really skeptical. I was like, maybe not that bad. Because look, Step Brothers, when you search it up, it has like a 55% of on Rotten Tomatoes. So I was like, it might be like Step Brothers. People might not like it, but you might like it. But then it was like a 10%. I was like, Jesus Christ, how bad is this movie? Trust me, IMDb was a 3.6, and Metacritic put on 24. That's how bad it did. Because when it first came out, it was at 0%, but then it got 10%, so I was like, oh, okay, this seems reasonable. It doesn't seem that bad. And it was. Trust me, in every scene they're in, they have to try to make it funny. When the movie begins, it starts off really good. The jokes were actually pretty funny. And I'm like, yeah, this doesn't look that bad. And well, later on in the movie, they get to a trial. The trial was good. And when you see them again together, there were a couple of good jokes in there, but then it started getting annoying. This movie, I believe, is to make fun of Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. one. And I think Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch, whatever you say his name. But I think that's how they make fun of it. There's a lot of scenes where I see some references, I think. But then it gets to this whole trial, and he was just really just pissing me off. You're supposed to be a great detective. Don't be a dumbass. Don't be a freaking dumbass. And then, after the trial, they go to see Queen Elizabeth, I believe. Which, like a birthday cake. they killed someone, or there was a dead body in the cage, I guess, I don't know. And then they went to solve the mystery, but they were inside their house. I think this came before the birthday, but I don't know. And they started screaming like a bunch of 5-year-olds. I'm like, this ain't Dumb and Dumber. Don't do this. And I hated this movie. I never hate a movie, but this movie was horrible. I know I keep saying it, but I don't know how to say it. Okay. I'm gonna say the plot of it. Okay, ready? Here I go. In 1881, Sherlock Holmes meets and befriends John Watson. Years later, Holmes is viewed as a legendary detective. Both he and Watson are to view the trial of Professor James Moriarty, I didn't say, but they are temporarily waylaid by a package sent by Moriarty and brought to them by their housekeeper, Miss Hudson. Once at the trial, Holmes declares that the man on the trial is not Moriarty, and is instead someone named Jacob Musgraves, who is incapable of committing the murder due to tremendous in his hands cause. And I'm literally reading Wikipedia. That's how hard I hated this movie. So we right there. What's the trial? Instead, someone due tremendous in his hand caused by You gotta be shitting me. I'm gonna reread this, and I'm not kidding. Once at the trial, Holmes declares that the man on trial is not Moriarty, and is instead someone named Jacob Musgraves, who is incapable of committing the murders due to tremendous tremors in his committing the murders due to tremors in his hand caused by excessive masturbation. I'm like, keep in mind, I'm reading off Wikipedia because I'm not rewatching it. Despite unsuccessful attempts by Inspector Lestrade to convince Holmes that his dedication is correct, Holmes is convinced that Moriarty is currently traveling to the United States. After the trial, the duo travel to Buckingham Palace to attend a surprise party where they discover a corpse inside of a birthday cake, along with a message from Moriarty stating that Queen Victoria will die in 4 days' time. During the autopsy, Holmes and Watson meet Dr. Grace Hart in the Farrow Mill. Watson and Holmes becomes enamored with Grace and Millie, respectively, by the end of the autopsy. Watson declares that the corpse's death is indeterminable, while Holmes believes that the person was poisoned. Furthermore, he believes that the poison came from Gustav Klinger. The pair eventually By the end of the autopsy, Watson declares that the corpse's death is indeterminable, while Holmes believes that the person was poisoned. Furthermore, he believes that the poison came from Gustav Klinger. The pair eventually locate Klinger, who is indeed in league with Moriarty. Before Klinger can reveal anything, he is murdered. Holmes decides that he must seek help from his brother, Mycroft, who tells him that the murderer is someone close to him. Holmes mistakenly believes Watson to be the murderer and has him arrested. He comes to regret the decision because causing his emotion to return. Holmes goes to Watson's cell only to find it empty, save for a plate filled with red velvet cake crumbs, deducing that his housekeeper made the cake and that Watson left the crumbs to send him a message. He tracks Watson and Miss Hudson, who is revealed to be Moriarty's daughter, to the Titanic, where the murder of the Queen is to take place. After apologizing to freeing Watson, they rush to the main room where they discover a bomb, which Watson throws out a window. The bomb lands in Miss Hudson, both killing her. The pair are congratulated by the Queen, only for Holmes to defer the credit to Watson. The pair reconnect with Grace and Miller later on. Blah blah blah. I don't care. You get the point. This whole movie was garbage. So, what am I gonna give this movie? That's a very good question because it's garbage. Maybe a 10 out of 10. I'm just kidding. For once in my review, I'm gonna give a movie a 1 out of 10. A 1 out of 10 because it is utter garbage and I wish it didn't exist. So yeah. Goodbye.
disappointed.